this shit of Bluetooth because it's not like a sound right.
What is up, my football degenerates? Chris, the Dice Degen here with two very, very special guests. We have, as you know, my co-host. We have Ian. Ian, how are you this evening?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome.
And then we have, as she's been deemed the rose between two thorns, I don't think Ian and I are thorns. I think the only thing that is a thorn is Jen in my side this week, but that is what it is. Jen, how are you this evening?
Yay, go Niners! Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Go Niners. Boo-hoo. Anyway, who do we have here? We got CRC. Welcome to the show, brother. And we got Midmo Yo. We all know Midmo Yo, the Chiefs fan. Can't say I'm surprised. Go Chiefs from Chiro. It's about right. Chiro, we've been monitoring that Patty Mahomes injury. Let me know. Ooh, John just popped in. My fellow Philly brother. Jen, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, all right. Playoff time. Championship weekend. We got 2 games this weekend. 2 games. Let's talk playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I didn't.
And then that is Jen's face after the 49ers get the absolute snot kicked out of them this weekend. But let's talk about it. As I said, Championship Sunday. What's up, Dice Dr. Dan? You are in the house. Here's what our bracket looks like now, right? Here's what the bracket looks like. We got the Bengals playing the Chiefs, and we got the Niners playing the Eagles. So, we'll flip over. Again, we were on fire last week. We're on fire again this week. Ian and I just giving out banger picks, I must say, on this show. Sides, totals, it is what it is. Ian, do we have a crystal ball or what is it?
Yep, that's what you get. Talking shit.
I have no audio on you, Ian. You're muted.
He's just something nice to look at. Just don't let him talk.
I hate that. I do that all day as a sales guy too, and I'm talking to clients. I did that today to Amazon. Really, it's like, geez, nice
live
job,
production.
man.
It happens.
No, man, I'm excited, man. The numbers are hot. John wants to run up to Snoqualmie. He's posting stuff on the local side here. We're gonna potentially take a trip up to Snoqualmie. It's probably the world's worst sports book in the state of Washington. I haven't been to very many, but boy, this one is terrible. But you're right. We're killing it right now. I hope you guys are making some bets with us. I know you're betting, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Some of those were just no-brainers. I think the only one we lost that I personally lost on was the Kansas City one. That's just because Mahomes went down. Yep. Mahomes doesn't go down there. I think they cover the 8.5. Still won by 7, but I mean, I tell you, Bengals straight up didn't even need the 5.5.
You did.
That was a smoke job. That was a smoke job there, man. I feel sorry for the Buffalo Mafia, but hey, congrats. Take your hats off to the Bengals, though, for sure.
Yeah, the Bengals looked good. The Bills did not look so good in that game. There was nothing really good going on, if you ask me, in that game besides the Bengals offense. Their defense was okay, just Josh Allen wasn't moving the ball well. It's my favorite game of the week. I got to talk about it. The Eagles. I mean, what an absolute beatdown they put on the Giants. Holy crap! That was a first-degree murder, second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter all in one charge. I'm gonna go to my attorney, Jen. How many years am I looking at for that?
Yeah, it's life. It's life.
Life for sure. No, Chris, you're 100%. That was a good old-fashioned butt kicking. I mean, up and down the field. It looked like the C team was playing against, college team. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, how they were on the field at the same time. What the heck happened? And there was people that was actually looking at that 8.5 spread and saying, hey, maybe I take that. But you could tell right out of the box, they came out and ran the ball. I mean, it was crazy the kind of yards they put up. Now, Hurts didn't have a big throwing game, But boy, they sure did run the ball. I think it was like 268 yards they put up on the ground. That's tough, man. That's going to be tough to do if they can do that again.
It was a smackdown. John said that was like Antifa v. Portland. That's true. That is true. I'm not going to spend too much time reviewing the rest of the games. I mean, nothing really surprised us. We called most of these picks. I expected the Cowboys to put up a little bit more of a fight. I was on the Cowboys last week. I said I thought the Niners were going to win, but I was on the Cowboys with the spread. Luckily, I had them teased in another bet, but the Cowboys looked sickening. Dak, gotta go. Zeke, gotta go. Mike McCarthy, gotta go. However, as an Eagles fan, you guys can all stay because with those three still in Dallas, they're never going to win a division. So you guys can stay if it's good with me. But, all right. That's
the best thing that happened to Dallas. Well, the best thing that happened to Dallas today, sorry to interrupt you there, is Dan Quinn's coming back.
Yeah. Yep.
Dan Quinn is, I mean, he gets what he's working with there, but Dan Quinn is a good coach. I wouldn't anticipate seeing him in Seattle when Pete decides he wants to step down. Now, he did have the biggest gack of all time in the Super Bowl. He was coaching the Falcons, but he's a good coach. Zeke's begging to come back. He's offered a pay cut already, and they haven't even started. But you're right. There's a lot of questions when we roam him, right?
Yeah.
Wins in the year and then totally gacks it when he gets to the playoffs. I mean, they have the same record in the playoffs now. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm not a big McCarthy fan in the first place. I don't even know why they're sticking with him. You can't tell me that if Peyton doesn't want that job, Sean Payton couldn't walk in and just say, give me $10 million a year and he'd get it. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know, man. I'm glad they're done, though.
I'm glad Sean Payton's not going there because that would actually worry me a little bit. Before we pop into this week's stuff, John asked, "What do you think of the Reich hire in Carolina?" Yikes! To me personally, this seems like we're just going to the past. For those of you who don't know, Frank Reich was the first quarterback when the Panthers became a franchise. So they're kind of going for a blast for the past there, I think. I mean, he's okay. He did all right for the Colts. Nothing crazy. I don't know. Carolina's just a dumpster fire as it is. So, I guess you could put anybody there and you'll have whatever.
That team's always in disarray, though, if you look at it. I mean, when was the last time, you're going back to Jake Delhomme days when they were in the NFC Championship. But that team is just a struggle. And I bet you they'd probably struggle to find people that could get in that would want to take that role. I mean, can you name 4 players on that team? Jeez, I don't even know,
I'd have to look them up.
They got rid of their best one.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, you look at it, and there's not a whole lot there. So getting a retread like Frank Reich, yeah, I mean, you're rebuilding anyways. There's talk about them moving up in the draft to get a quarterback. I think they have to. Yep. I think Seattle might even trade with them at 5 to move down, knowing Schneider if that's the way it goes. But they're going to take a quarterback no matter where they go. If they go all the way up to 1 and give the Bears so who knows what's going to happen with Carolina. But John, you're right, man. I'm fine. I think the Hawks play him again next year, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's talk about the standings real quick. On the NFC side, nothing crazy, right? You got 1 and 2 playing for the NFC Championship. Looks good to me. On the AFC, nothing really crazy again. You got 1 and 3 playing. Personally, the Bengals looked a hell of a lot better than the Bills did. The Chiefs, no surprise, other than the Patty Mahomes injury, but Henny looked good on that drive. He drove him down the entire field. Yeah, they looked good. So, nothing too surprising there. So we have our playoff picture, right? We have 2 games this weekend. Also, what's up, SJ? How are you? On Sunday of this week, right, we got the early game, the game for all the marbles between Jen and myself, the Eagles and the 49ers. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox. Then you got the AFC Championship game, 6:30 on CBS, Bengals and the Chiefs. So let's hop into those games. Vince, what's up, brother? What did you ask? Online casino BetMGM keeps giving me $100 bet tokens. What do you recommend? We will get there, and we will get there in a
Oh,
few
we got
minutes.
some good ones, man.
Don't worry,
Sit back.
DGen has some bets for you, sir. All right, the match we all want to talk about. We all want to talk about it. I'm gonna go first. Actually, I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna give you a little rundown of the game first, and then I'm gonna kick it to Jen immediately because we have to talk about a little wager that is on this game. All right, we're gonna have to talk about a little wager. Vegas lines for this game. Eagles are 2.5-point favorites, -148 on the money line. The over/under is set at 46.5. That line opened at -1.5. A little bit of movement to the Eagles. What does that mean? People are smart. They're betting the Eagles. Anyway, they haven't played yet. Defensively, the 49ers are first overall. They are 8th against quarterbacks, 1st against the run, 27th against wide receivers, 7th against tight ends. The Eagles are 4th overall defensively, 5th against quarterbacks, 16th against wide receivers, 16th against running backs, 8th against wide receivers, 11th against tight ends. Offensively, right, San Francisco has the 6th overall best offense. Eagles have the 3rd overall best offense. Weather, it's going to be in Philly. It's going to be about 50 degrees, a little cloudy. Some notable injuries, all right? The injury report is extensive this week, all right? I couldn't even write these all down. I had to pull out the iPad for this one. Deebo Samuel, ankle injury, limited today at practice. Elijah Mitchell didn't practice. Interesting. Christian McCaffrey didn't practice.
F.
He did not practice. What does that mean? I don't know. For the Eagles, the only real concern was Lane Johnson not practicing, but he was limited. So, it's a Wednesday practice. I'm not too worried about that. All right, Jen, let's talk about this wager. Present it for the people.
I think the people will like to see, I think it just gives them more motivation to root for the right team, the Niners, because when the Niners win, DGen is going to get dressed in a sequin dress, and he is going to sing Gloria Gaynor's "I Will Survive," and for all the world to see. He will have to shave his legs. It's going to be a short dress. I mean, we are going to have the time of our lives.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm not going to have to do it, but, it is what it is. Anyway, Ian, I know you have a 30-piece McNugget for me, so hit me with those stats.
Man, you know me, this is my fun time right here. So things that I looked at when I was reviewing over this last week, and I'm just kind of, is it going to be cold in Philly? Is it going to be, that crowd is nasty. I would hate going in there. San Fran's coming in a 12-game streak. Hurts look really good and healthy. The shoulder wasn't the question. Now you're going to have an explosive offense against the number one defense. San Francisco's run defense is top notch, but they rushed for the Eagles did 44 times for 268 yards and 6.1 yards per carry. That's pretty good, and 3 TDs. The thing that was shocking the most, and Vince, get ready because this is where some of your prop bets are going to come in. Yeah, Gainwell scored 112 yards rushing. Yep. 9.3 yards per catch, per attempt, and a TD. And then you got Sanders with 90, and then you got Scott. Man, when was the last time you heard Scott's name come up? For 5.3
giant killer. He's a giant killer.
That's exact. Yeah, he's had more touchdowns against them than the rest of the games that he's played against. I think he has 8 touchdowns, and 6 of them are against the Giants or some crazy number like that. But when you look at this, I think this is going to come down to whose defense is going to be there. I think both offenses can score. Brock Purdy is playing well. I got to give the kid credit. I can't say that I'm hoping they keep him instead of whoever else they might go after. But but against San Francisco, you're talking about the best rush defense there is. They held running backs to 3.3 yards per carry. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Dallas, they had 22 rushing attempts for only 76 yards. It's going to be tough for that rushing offense of the Eagles to go against that tough of a defensive line. And they don't rush the quarterback. That's what's amazing. They do it with their front four, which, man, I would kill to have that in Seattle. Bosa with 18.5 sacks. But you're right. It's going to be the guys on the end. You're talking about Johnson, right tackle. He hasn't given up a sack all year.
2 seasons.
You got, yeah, 2 seasons. You're right, 2 seasons. And then you got Mulata, who's not bad for a left tackle, but he's going up against Bocha. I think that's going to be the one to watch, right? He's given up 6 sacks, But then again, where's all the offense going to come from? Here's my sweet tidbit right here. A.J. Brown last week had 6 targets for only 2 catches and 22 yards. Every other time where he's been held to that many catches, he comes back and has at least 60 yards per game.
Preach it from the rooftop.
This is going to be the game changer. Last week we talked about a couple of them. I believe this is going to be a game changer. Vince, sit tight, because when we start talking about prop bets and you listen to the number that's going to be up on him for both catches and for yards, watch out. San Francisco's defense held Dak Prescott at 63% rating. That was not surprising, right?
No,
but the
Dak
49ers
sucks.
hold teams. Dak's Dak, right? But the 49ers have held teams under 24 points 11 times, and they have a highest point differential. So there's some stats that are on, definitely on Frisco's side. CMC only carried the ball 10 times for 35 yards. Mitchell had 14 carries for 51. I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, obviously, CMC had his catches in the backfield as well. But the Eagles, they're second most in sacks themselves. And I think we saw it last week when, Brock got pushed out of the pocket a little bit. They had 70 sacks this last year, second most.
Yep.
Watch out. Debo's going to come back strong. I think Kittle's going to have a good game. But here's the tidbit, and then I'll let Jen talk as we get back to rookies that are quarterbacks that have started the a conference championship game are 0-5.
Oh, Ian, you got the same nugget I do.
Oh, did I say it?
That means it's a freaking lock.
It's a lock,
Oh my
man. It
gosh.
has to. So Jen, I'm sorry. I'm making a claim here. I'm gonna take the Eagles in here, but I'm not full board like I was last week, but I'm leaning towards taking them. But prop bets are where I'm going.
Yep. All right, Jen, lay it on me. What do you got for me?
Man, I'm telling you, there's so much squawking and chirping from a team that's won like one Super Bowl, from like a super old like Brady team. But I have to say, Ian is not even that confident because he said he's leaning towards, right? I know, it's whatever, D-Jen. Normally a favorite gets -3, and you're only 2.5. So really, you're not even a very strong favorite. I think you're worried because, as we are all thinking, well, Brock's a rookie, he's unknown, but that's also what makes him dangerous, right? Like 0-5 for rookies. Sure, that's like saying like the 7 comes one every 6 rolls, and then there it is. John rolls it like 18 times in a row, and we're all like obliterated. So I don't think it really is a factor. I think the Eagles were amazing last week. Super boring game because it was like a grown man slapping a child around. It was just really kind of devastating at one point. I'm like, oh gosh. But I think anyone on this panel will admit there's no way the Birds run like that against the Niners defense. There's just no way. I mean, unless the Birds get off to a huge, big lead and then you've got the defense exhausted from running around, I don't think it's a problem. We've got the number one like linebacker duo. We've got Bosa. I think we'll be okay. We'll keep the game close at least to the point where I think you'll be nervous. I think all of our Niner Nations, I mean, we really, really believe, not because we've drunk the Kool-Aid, but because it's a surprise to be here. Like, when Jimmy G went down, we thought, well, shit, this is it. I mean, this could be it. And yet we are here, we're deep, and actually a legit, and probably the best team that the Eagles will face. Like, if the Eagles advance to Super Bowl, like the NFC Championship, that is the Super Bowl. Like, the Chiefs, the Bengals, okay, but let's be real. Like, the Eagles will slap those guys around.
Yep, I totally agree. All right, so Vince asked the question, unbiased question, what's the best team out there? And this is what I'm going to start with, all right? The two best teams in the league right now are playing in this game. 49ers and the Eagles, two best teams in the league. It's not even close, if you ask me. All right, Buffalo could have been in the conversation after that goose egg they laid last week. No. All right. Offensively, you have two of the best offenses in the league. Defensively, you have two of the best defenses in the league, right? So you got two great teams on both sides of the ball. The Chiefs, they're good on offense. They're number one overall, but they suck on defense. If you look at their defensive stats, they're god-awful. The Bengals, same thing. They're okay offensively. They're okay defensively. Nothing crazy there. The two best teams in the league right now, 49ers and the Eagles. However, all right, Ian's on the fence. He's a little unsure. Jen's trying to tell me that Brock is, the second coming over here. This is going to be a semi-close game for a while. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter, all right? And then my Eagles are going to fly away with the whole thing.
What is that? Is that passing gas? I mean,
no, they're going to fly away with the whole thing. Listen. I have some nuggets of my own for you all.
Preach it.
First of all, let me get on my Stephen A. Smith rant. Philly, Ian, you addressed it. I wouldn't want to play there. For sure would not want to play there. All right, Philly is a brutal place to play. All right, it is Vince, 49ers, San Francisco 49ers. 49, the number, ERS. There's your number. All right, there's your team name. All right, Philly is a brutal place to play. All right, it's loud. The fans are absolutely unruly. I am one of them. I know. All right, the things we say, the things we do, it's insane. Now, Brock Purdy. Let me talk about Brock Purdy. Okay, yeah, he's been on a good little run. The run is over. The car is out of gas. Okay. Let me give you some stats for you. Since Purdy has taken over, right? He's 7-0. Good to him. Good for him. Good for him. Who the hell has he played? Miami, 24th overall defense, sucks. Bucks, 13th overall defense, they suck. Seahawks, I'm sorry, Ian, 25th overall defense, they suck. The Commanders, 17th overall defense, they suck. The Raiders. Oh, my headphones just died.
that's right. That's a sign. That's a sign from above.
Can you guys hear me all right still?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to keep going here. The Raiders, 26th overall defense. They suck. The Cardinals, 31st overall defense. They suck. The Seahawks, again, 25th. Not good. Here you go. The Cowboys, 6th overall defense. Brock Purdy against the Cowboys. Threw for 214 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. He looked awful, and that's the best defense he played. The Eagles' defense is a hell of a lot better than the Cowboys' defense. You talk about the running game. I'll give it to you. San Francisco's number one against the run. However, they're 19th against running quarterbacks. They're 26th in the league against scrambling quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is going to scramble that defense like a bunch of eggs. My final tidbit for you all. Yes, Vince, the 49ers have gold helmets. My final tidbit for you all. The San Francisco 49ers defense is awful against wide receivers, especially wide receiver ones who are in the top 10 in the league. Let me give you some numbers. All right, let me give you some numbers. Tyreek Hill had 9 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae Adams had 10 catches, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs went off against them. All these guys have gone off against these teams. The Eagles not only have one top 10 receiver, they have 2. Jalen Hurts is going to be throwing this ball all over the Lincoln Financial Field. All over the field. The Eagles will win
Yeah,
this
but no one's
game.
going to catch it, so what difference does it make?
Listen, the Eagles receivers are a hell of a lot better than San Francisco's receivers. A.J. Brown is the 4th overall receiver in the league, Jen. 4th overall in the league.
What?
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
no, you
fine.
guys have actually a really potent pass offense, which is, I think, the key to the Eagles taking it down. Not running. Like, it's just not going to happen. We don't have a great top-notch defense against the pass. And I think that's where you will soar.
The pass is where we're going to soar. The problem is, for you guys, you're going to need to spy Jalen Hurts because rushing 4 against the Eagles' offensive line is going to be a struggle to get through. And if you do get through, by chance, Jalen's going to run right out of that pocket. And if you don't have somebody spying him, he's getting 10, 12 yards a clip. All right? Now, we talked about the receiving props.
What's the line?
What was that?
What's his rushing line?
Jalen Hurts?
Prop bet.
Oh, we'll go over that in a minute.
Yeah.
Over 46 and a half. Don't touch it. I don't want to talk about that line. It's a bad line. 46 yards for a quarterback is tough. Because sacks and kneel downs and other stuff can eat into that depending where they are. Right? So like a sack outside the pocket counts as negative yards. So be careful with those. But Ian, I know you want the stats for the receivers. So let me give them to you. A.J. Brown, over 70 and a half receiving yards. Devontae Smith, over 66 and a half. Total receptions. A.J. Brown, over 4.5. Devontae Smith, over 5.5.
That's such a buy sign at 4.5.
4.5. Vince, I'm talking directly to you. Vince, Armenti. Listen to me. A.J. Brown over 4.5 receptions is an out-of-sight, out-of-mind play.
Lock and load.
Lock and unload that. That's going to be an absolute... 4.5 catches, he might hit that in the first quarter. Might hit it in the first half, but he might hit that in the first quarter.
I saw that today when I started looking up all the prop bets today, and I was shocked. I thought, did I mix up something here? Am I missing? Was there another receiver? Because 4.5 for him, just because he had 2 on 6 targets last week, dude, he's gonna get the ball. He's a number 1 receiver and wants it. He's diva-esque. Him and DK played together. They're the same type of guy. They want the damn ball. They're Keyshawn Johnson at his finest. So give me the damn ball. That guy's gonna have 6 catches. I agree with you.
Yeah.
At maybe 9 catches. That's how much I think they're going to get on him, and they're going to pick on him. Now, the one thing that I almost can't agree with you on is watch out for that front 7 of San Francisco. I agree with you, the DBs and safeties, not a stuff, but they had 5 sacks last week and 8 quarterback hits with just rushing 4. And Fred Warner, I think, what a stud linebacker he is. I think he can pick up Goddard coming out of the backfield or even spy. Hurts, he's fast enough, but who knows? I don't know how they're going to scheme the defense on that, but that 4.5, Vince, lock and load that for sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Vince, you asked a question, so I hope you're listening. Sorry for the odd question. There are no odd questions in here. What is a 1-game parlay? All right, a 1-game parlay is when you're taking. So a parlay in general is you're taking 2 or more bets together, combining them into one bet. Each individual bet that you would pick would have to hit in order to make your total bet win. Now, the odds go up on those kind of bets. So that's what the 1-game parlay is, and it's going to be specific to 1 game. So if you're looking at a 1-game parlay for the 49ers versus the Eagles, you're going to be looking at just that game, taking a couple different bets from that game and turning it into a parlay. So you could have 2 or more legs in that bet, and that'll make it into the 1-game parlay. Now, if you want a 1-game parlay for this Eagles game here, all right, I'm giving it to you again. We told you A.J. Brown over 4.5 catches is an absolute lock. Parlay that with the Eagles money line, and you got an absolute banger right there for you.
Money line again?
148. Minus 148. I'll tell you right now. On the book that I'm looking at, it's FanDuel. the line for that parlay that I just said, A.J. Brown over 4.5 catches, Philadelphia Eagles over, or the Philadelphia Eagles to win is plus 190. All right? I'm locking it live right now. $500 on the bet. You can, let me get in front of the screen.
Are you seriously? Right on.
$500, lock in the bet. It's placed.
Another one, too, I would look at is Gainwell's 11.5 yards of rushing. That guy went for a $112 last week.
Yep.
And even with it is being San Francisco, they're going to be mixing that up. Another one to look at, Chris, as well is, is Hurts going to run over 10 times? Because the spread over-under is 9.5. So he'd have to carry the ball 10 times. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that line quite a bit there for myself anyway. For the rush attempts. I'll be honest, I do like Christian McCaffrey over 13.5 at minus 102. Looking at that right now. I think McCaffrey, he's featured heavily out of the backfield on the screens and the little bubble passes and stuff, but the Eagles' offense is notorious, or the defense is notorious for giving up rushing yards to running backs, especially top-tier running backs. Saquon last week obviously didn't do anything, but Christian McCaffrey is a lot better than Saquon Barkley. So I do like the over 13.5 there as well.
That's for rushing attempts? Yeah.
Yeah, over rushing attempts. Yep, 13.5.
He's going to have that in the first half. He's going to get that in the first half.
That's not going to happen because you're going to have to all right. Vince said Eagles money line, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Vince, here's what I'm going to do. All right, Vince. Here's what you're going to do, Vince. I'm typing my email in chat. Send me a screenshot to my email of the bet so I can see it. And then I'll tell you because I don't know what bets you have on A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. So send it to me at that email. Let me take a look at it, and then I will either go yay or nay or potentially give you another leg to add in there. All right, enough about this game. It's good. It's good. Oh, I forgot. I haven't seen Waylon in chat yet. I don't know if he's here. But Waylon, for you, my brother, because the Eagles are going to win, you already know the Alabama connection is coming out. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, they are coming out. So, Waylon, I hope you watch that back if you're not here. And go Bama, roll Tide. All right.
Have you known that Hurts has played Brock Purdy before?
Yeah, when he was at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma against Iowa State.
Iowa State, yep.
That was like 48-41.
It was a good game.
Yeah, he was throwing. I watched a replay of that on YouTube today, and I had no clue that they kept up with those guys in that. So it's nice to see that, they've already played against each other once. Let's see what happens the second time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at that game, too, the only thing is here we're talking college defense versus NFL defense, but I think Purdy threw for like 300 yards plus. I think he threw for 6 touchdowns, and then Jalen Hurts threw for like 300 or 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. And he also ran for another 1 or 2 in that game. But again, college defense, so, it is what it is. Let's pop over to the next game. And again, Vince, shoot me an email with your bets, and I will take a look at it. And you get personal one-on-one time from the D-Gen himself. All right. Bengals Chiefs. I know Chiro is a big Chiefs fan. So, Chiro, hopefully your team shows up. We'll see what happens. Chiefs are now a -1 favorite. They opened at plus 2.5. They opened at plus 2.5 because of the Patty Mahomes uncertainty. They are now -1 favorites. The line has moved a full 3.5 points because you have to go over the 0. So the line has moved 3.5 points. That is significant. That is a significant line movement. For any of my fans who follow line movements, that is certainly a significant one. Again, due to Patty Mahomes. Defensively, Bengals are 12th overall, 6th against quarterbacks, 7th against running backs, 17th against a wide receiver, 14th against the tight end. The Chiefs are 24th overall. Again, that's why I said the 49ers and the Eagles are both well-rounded on both sides because the Chiefs are absolutely dreadful on defense. 30th against quarterbacks, 15th against the run, 24th against wide receivers, 20th against the tight ends. It will be a clear night in Kansas City, low 20s. You got two high-powered offenses. Cincinnati is 8th overall. Kansas City is 1st overall. And Ian, what do you got for me?
Well, Bengals, here's one I like this stat. This is the first thing I got to is Bengals are 8-0 when the weather's under 40 degrees this year. Snow's in the forecast. Don't know if it's going to happen. But we all know that the Bengals have beat Kansas City 3 straight times. Last time Mahomes was 22 for 30 for only 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. But he had 112.5 rating, which is pretty good. Burrow's last time, 245 yards, 2 TDs, and 101, rating as well. So both of them are pretty good. The Bengals on a 10-game winning streak with scoring average of 28.3 points per game and only giving up 18.5. That's, for those of you who can do math, that's almost 10 points. That's pretty good. Now, the biggest key is Mahomes is his mobility. Can he get out of the box? He's the best out of the box throwing the ball. Probably one of the strongest yards between him and Josh Allen. But just getting out. Last week on a busted wheel, and you guys all saw that. That was not pretty. The same thing happened to Pollard, and Pollard's leg broke in the Dallas game, right? But to see Mahomes get up, come back, I loved how fired up he was on the side when they told him, hey, you got to go in and get a shot. But he was 7 for 10 with a touchdown when they blitzed him. Now, you know that they're going to come after him in the beginning. Maybe not with a bunch of blitzes, but they're going to do whatever they can. But the mobility on him, they showed that he was full participant in practice today. No boot going on. The last time these guys played, Mahomes was sacked 4 times, but they only blitzed 9.3% of the time. That's pretty good. So it's going to come down to Hubbard against Henderson. Hubbard and Henderson, the 2 defensive tackles. Henderson's going against Orlando Brown. He's the 17th best rated tackle, but he's given up 4 sacks. Hubbard's going against Wiley, who's given up 9 sacks. So there might be some questions there. Another tidbit for you, Kelsey against linebackers. If they put a linebacker on Kelsey instead of a safety, out of 17 targets, he has 14 receptions, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But the Bengals are 3rd best when holding tight ends to a rating of 79.5. This is going to come down to, I really like what I saw out of Pacheco last week. That kid ran the ball so hard. And, he had 12 attempts for 95 yards, and he was putting it up and putting it down. Kansas City held the Jags' running game to only 3.9 yards per attempt, which is pretty good. But the one thing Kansas City didn't have last week was McKinnon. If McKinnon's healthy and good to go, that might cut into Pacheco's time as well. But if he's good to go, watch him out of the backfield.
McKinnon was a full participant in practice today.
Yeah. So that's going to be big. That could swing. This is a pick'em game in the places where I'm seeing it. So if you're getting one on FanDuel, that might be worthwhile taking it. But you saw what the Bengals' defensive backfield did to Diggs. Diggs had 10 targets, but only 35 yards catching. He was so pissed he got up and left right after the game.
Yeah.
Got in a big only match with Allen and walked out. Boy, that's what you really want to see. But you look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs had 8 different receivers have at least one catch. But I think you got the best tandem. Again, we talked about this last week in Higgs, Chase, and Boyd. 2,000 each. Higgs and Chase each have 1,000 yards, and Boyd had almost 800 yards. Then again, the offensive line for the Bengals, 3 offensive linemen out. But what was really amazing, they only gave up 1 sack last week and only 3 quarterback pressures in 37 attempts. I think this game's going to come down to special teams. Yeah. And you saw what KC did last week on special teams. Agnew just absolutely killed him. Yep. He averaged 48.3 yards on kickoff returns. Kansas City, you guys better get it together. You guys are going to be in trouble. You got 2 solid kick games. Not going to worry about that. It's going to come off to the punt returns and the kick returns. My sleeper pick, though, is Andy Reid's 3-6, including his time with you-know-who, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. He's 3-6 in the championship. play. But the guy I'm really looking for, and we're going to talk about his numbers here in the pick him in a little bit, is Mixon.
Yeah.
Mixon ran the ball last week for 20 times for 105 yards and a score and 5.3 yards per carry. Nobody talked about that all week. Watch out. I think he's going to be the game changer this week, and we'll talk about his bets in a minute. So,
All right, Jen, who do you like in this game?
Well, we teased the Bengals like earlier when they were like a -2.5. I think actually we looked out and waited till it was -1, right? So
No, I teased them for you this morning at +1, so you have them at +7.
Ooh, okay. Hey,
Don't worry,
even
DJen
better,
gets you the
even
best
better.
lines.
Love it, DJen. I mean, I almost can forgive you for being a Birds fan. No, I'm kidding. I really do worry about when a team has lost that many times to another team. It's just so difficult to sweep them 4 times. But I think the Bengals are just a better team right now overall, because I'd rather take an okay offense and an okay defense versus a good offense with maybe and a terrible defense. And is it going to snow? I mean, if it's going to snow, that's what slowed down Buffalo dominant defense from like sacking the shit out of Joe Burrow.
I called the meteorologist in Kansas City this morning, and they were telling me it's supposed to be clear for the game.
there you go.
I don't see why. Yeah, I cannot see why they. I'm seeing like Mahomes on his butt a lot, pressured, hurried, hippity hoppiting. We saw how he was last week. I can't believe he's almost 100% with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him running in practice. He looked all right. Here's the thing, right? Ian said it. It's going to come down to that ankle, and Jen mentioned it too. Patty Mahomes is a quarterback who does not like to throw out of the pocket, right? He can, but he likes to throw on the run, a little bit of scramble. If he can't move with that ankle, he had like 9 layers of tape on that ankle last weekend, and I mean, he was hobbling around like a bunny rabbit. All right, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Chiro was saying earlier, I'd have to go back and find it, but Chiro was saying that if the Birds and the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, we might not be friends anymore. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing that happen because I have a bet on the Eagles to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that I placed preseason, and I have another bet on the Eagles to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that I placed preseason. However, I don't think it's going to come down to that. I'll be honest, I don't. I see the Bengals winning this one. I think it'll be close for a little bit, but here's the problem. The Bengals defense, they're not great, but they're good, and they're going to slow Patty Mahomes down quite a bit. The problem is the Chiefs' defense, I don't think, is going to be able to slow down Joe Burrow and that offense a ton. And that's where I think this is going to come down to. Ian mentioned the special teams. I mean, the special teams for Kansas City last weekend looked horrific. I mean, I could have run for 40 yards on them. Like, they looked terrible. But I think in this one, you're going to see a high-scoring game, if you ask me. The over-unders at 48. I think you have a high-scoring game here, right? I think the Chiefs are going to get theirs. They're going to put up points. And as we're talking, guys, the line just moved. It is now 1.5 point spread. 1.5 point spread for the Chiefs, which means there's some steam coming in on the Chiefs. So I guess people don't like our advice here. But, it is what it is. You bet the opposite, you lose. Good luck to you.
You look at Patty walking around today. That's what that came down to. Because that line's gone from 2.5 one way to 2.5 the other way.
Yeah.
Now it's moving, almost hourly. So, I mean, that's the reason why I'm not touching the line on this. But there's some really good prop bets on this, Chris. If you have had a chance to take a look at this yet.
Oh yeah, I've got some props for you all. All right,
let's hear it. I'll give you mine.
Right. Yeah. Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Given.
Check. Sign me up for that bet.
That's the one that I would put that with A.J. Brown. I would put that together in a parlay, maybe even a three-team parlay one on that.
Yeah.
I also like Mixon at 58.5 over.
I got let me see. His rushing prop. It's up to 59.5 for me, but I still like it at 59.5. I think this is what I'm saying with I don't think the Chiefs defense is going to be able to keep up. I think the Bengals go out early, they score, and Mixon's just going to run the ball. Pacheco has an interesting line at 48.5. Rushing. I don't love it, but I don't hate it at the same time.
I had 58.5.
Here's one bet that I do like a lot. You ready for this one, Ian?
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd over 31.5 yards receiving.
Oh, that's a good. I'm going to one-up you, though. You ready?
Go ahead, hit me.
3.5.
Which one?
Over.
What?
Kittle. He's
at over 3.5 receptions. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Brock's going to be checking the ball down. He's not going to have that much time, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's going to be checking the ball down. I think Kittles is going to have I think he can catch 4 catches. I'm not saying he's going to cap 10, but I think he's going to have over 3.5 for sure.
Yeah.
It's catches, not attempts, right? Yeah.
It's catches, not targets, receptions.
Right.
You know, I don't mind that line. I think he'll have it. I think, you know, it's going to come down to can Purdy move the ball effectively in that game. Another line. There was another line that I liked. I'm trying to find it real quick.
What do you think of Kelsey at 7.5 receptions?
You see, I was hesitant on Kelsey last week, right? I love the Kelsey prop on catches, but I was so hesitant at 7.5. That's a lot of catches. 2 catches a quarter, if you look at it that way. If you think about it, on average you get maybe 2 drives a quarter max. So you're asking for at least a catch on every drive. So that was tough for me to bite on. But I mean, he had 7 catches in the first quarter last week. He had 4 on the opening drive, and he had 5, I think, the next drive, right? So he's 6.5 on my book. I do like that. I think they're going to have to be throwing the ball to Kelsey in order to be effective. So I do like over 6.5. I don't love his total yards. They have him at 77.5 total yards. I don't love that. But I do like the over 6.5. It's not my favorite bet, but it could be decent. You know.
What about Mahomes? What do you think of Mahomes' completions at over 25.5?
That's a tough line. Oh wait, hold on, real quick. I see my brother is here. Waylon, you missed it before, so I'm going to do it again for you.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. We went over the Eagles already, and the Alabama connection is just going to slap your mama, and that's what it is. Eagles are going to win. Anyway, passing completions for Patty Mahomes.
That's a lot. 25.5 is a lot.
25.5 is a lot of completions. What I do like better is the over-under on passing attempts. Seen it at 34.5.
Yeah.
I like that better than the completions. But, you know, again, I already told you, one of my favorite bets in this whole thing is Tyler Boyd over 31.5 yards. Also, I saw some very interesting touchdown scorer props. All right, very interesting touchdown scorer props. Mixon is plus 100, so even odds to score a touchdown. I kind of like that.
Yeah. I think he's going to score.
And another one that is worth a little sprinkle. Not a ton of money, but a little sprinkle. Hayden Hurst, anytime touchdown score, plus 300.
Ooh. Yeah, there you go. That's a sprinkle.
That's a sprinkle, but I think it's worth it. Because if you look at Hayden Hurst, I'm just pulling up his stats right now. For his last few games, because I don't have them up already, but I'm pulling them up as we speak. Where are you? Hurst, here you are. So if you look, right, against Buffalo, he had a touchdown. He hadn't had a touchdown in his 8 previous games. Then he had 2 touchdowns back-to-back. Didn't have a touchdown in the 3 games before that. So if he's trending as he has been trending, right, no touchdowns for a couple weeks, back-to-back weeks with touchdowns, no touchdowns for a couple weeks. He scored last week. Look for a back-to-back this week.
I'm looking at his line too here on mine's on I don't know. I think it's on MGM. I think it is. But they got him at 3.5 receptions. They got Kittle at 3.5 receptions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Kittle burnt me last week because he only had 2 catches.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Burrows one at a TD and a half. I like the over on that.
Yep.
I agree with you. I think that Mixon over 58.5 or 59. It was you got it. I mean, I think that's a good one. As a sleeper, I like that Gainwell pick at 11.5 yards.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah,
because he's really RB2 for the Eagles now, right? So, Sanders comes out. You got him doing something out of the backfield. I like that. I do like that quite a bit. That's worth some cash in my opinion as well.
But that best one's got to be AJ Brown 4.5.
Yeah, that's such a layup. Like if you ask me, that is such a layup. I hope I'm not eating my words on the next show. But I mean, 4.5 catches to me that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd in my opinion. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that line moves up to 5.5. So for all of my betting fans, lock that one in now because that might get moved up.
Yep.
That's why I locked it in. You guys all saw me. I locked it in for 500.
On Bosa. Have you seen anything on Bosa as far as sacks on him?
Let me take a look. Let's see here. Defensive props.
Jen, what do you think of CMC at 91 total yards? That's receiving.
I got
rushing.
burned last week with him at 103. Yeah, at 103, he didn't quite get there. It's because he has a calf injury.
Yeah.
So he didn't really actually play very much. We got him for the NETD, which is like a better bet.
Yeah. I mean, I think McCaffrey scores again this week. It is what it is. Nick Bosa to record a sack is minus 166.
Yeah, love it.
Wow.
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
we're all talking about
Bosa to record a sack, you got to think about it this way, right? He's going up against Mailata, who's a good tackle. The thing is, though, you got to think running back help is going to be on that side, right? They're not going to be helping Lane Johnson on the right-hand side. They're going to be helping Mailata on Hurts' blind side.
Yeah, they're going to need to.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
I mean, he moves around a little bit, too, though. Yeah.
No, I know. I mean, put it this way.
I don't love taking
his only chance to get a sack is on the left-hand side. He's not coming from the right-hand side and getting a sack. Lane Johnson's not going to let that happen. All right. Let's flip over here. And here we go. We're back. We were all on the screen before, but we're back again.
Well, I think we're not talking if
what
Mahomes
happens if
is,
the Eagles
he's
win?
just one thing to run around when you're in practice and, you don't have to pivot. You don't have to, shift. You don't have to make these cuts. But I don't think he's going to be 100% no matter what at game time. Like the minute, you guys have all had ankle injuries, you feel good. And then the minute you tweak it a little, you're just like screwed. So when Henry comes in, I think the key will be, will Kelsey be able to just do whatever you want like he did like last week? He just, he just looked unstoppable. He just did whatever, Henny was in, whoever throws him, he's just gonna get his hands on it and he's just gonna drag a couple of defenders down. So to me, I think Kelsey's gonna be the one to, if they're gonna win it, they need Kelsey to do extra work.
Yeah. Ian, what were you saying?
I don't know if you guys ever had a Toradol shot, because that's what they shoot these guys up with. Toradol is an amazing thing. I went in one time and had an issue, and literally an hour after I had a Toradol shot, I couldn't walk when I went into the emergency room. I had a shot of Toradol, and within an hour, I felt like I could run again. That's an amazing drug. It just blocks everything out.
Yeah.
So if they get him at the right time and shoot him up, probably at halftime as well, if it's flaring up on him. But Jen, you're right. Can Henny, if something happens and they roll him up again, can Henny come in and do the job? He's no Pat Mahomes, and Joe Burrows is right up there with him. I think they're gonna be striking big time. I mean, I'm taking Kansas City here, you guys.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
right.
So, Ian, you're taking Kansas City. Who do you have in the Birds-San Francisco game?
Oh, man. Jeez.
Put you on the spot.
What's the line at 2.5?
2.5.
Or it's not 3 yet? Man, I wish it was 3 because I'd take the 49ers if it was 3. Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles minus 2.5. I just don't think – I think Brock's going to be a little overwhelmed in that standpoint. Sorry, Jen.
I would agree. All right, Jen, who do you have this week?
I mean, I like the Bengals. I think they're actually one of the most mediocre, like overachieving teams, just unassuming, fly under the radar, and yet somehow they just find a way to win. A fully healthy Burrow, I don't know how Casey can pull it off. Even with Henny doing an okay job, it's just not going to happen with that bad defense over there. So I'm going to take the Bengals. I would even take them like straight up, right, as a pick, like money line. I don't need. Well, actually, they are they're +1.
They're getting a point. I don't think you need the point.
Yeah, I don't need the point. Yeah. I mean, I think objectively, if I wasn't a Niner fan, I'd be very nervous about Brock Purdy going up against that #1 rush defense. Jesus, dear Lord. But he had the experience of going through a pretty good defense in Dallas, right? As much as we think they suck overall, I mean, #6, they did it right. They did harass him. They did hurry him, and he did okay. You know, I think the point is he has that kind of experience. Getting the speed of the rushing is different, but it's not Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. I think we know who would win there. But it's a very talented offensive core that surrounds him that's going to come back to the ball, bail him out. CMC is going to be there. CMC could probably throw it himself to Ayuk for a touchdown. I mean, there's going to be a lot to do. So I think that if the Niners keep it close and with a good defense, you can see a pick 6 anytime. I'm not convinced Jalen Hurts' shoulder is 100%. I know he looked good, but I don't think he really tested it, and I don't really think he got thrown to the ground on his shoulder by Bosa and Warner and them. So we'll see. I think I'm excited that it's going to be such a good game. I'm going to be happy either way because I've got the Niners teased up to 8.5. I think something like that. But I think they're definitely gonna meet it, and I think they have more than a fighting chance on the money line. I mean, you can see that enough people are picking the Niners for it to be that close. That you guys aren't like a 3.5, 4.5 favorite. It's telling.
Yeah, I mean, home field advantage. It depends on what line you're looking at, who's making the line. On my models, I have a 2.25 point edge to home field advantage. That's what I use on my models, and that's calculated over like 5 years worth of data. So that's what I use on my models. I don't use the traditional 3 that people talk about. I think the line is exactly where it should be, right? I think you're getting the Eagles as a favorite because of the home field advantage. If this game was being played on a neutral field, I think it would be an exact pick'em. I think it'd be an absolute toss-up. Maybe a -1, +1 either way, depending. But again, like I said before, right? You have 2 of the best teams overall in the NFL, 2 great offenses, 2 great defenses. I'm really looking forward to this game. Waylon put an interesting comment in here. I like McCaffrey, but I don't think they won't let him play enough to beat Hurts. This is one thing. I know he has the calf injury, but they had Elijah Mitchell in last game way too much, if you ask me. I know they're trying to save McCaffrey, but they were. What were you saying, Ian?
Yeah, he had 14 carries.
Yeah,
Mitchell out-carried the ball. Versus CMC only had 10 carries.
Yeah, that's a problem in my opinion, right? I know he may have had that calf tweak, but look, big time players make big time plays, right? McCaffrey's a big time player. He's there to play. All right? He's got a whole offseason to rest that calf. I think that's telling that they had him sitting out. If Mitchell rushes 14 times again, that game is over quickly. Mitchell,
Yeah.
he won't run like McCaffrey will on that Eagles defense. I'll tell you that for a fact.
No, Mitchell has a groin injury, so I
Yeah.
think they're. So I mean, he's not going to run at all. So as much. I think McCaffrey. I think he had the calf injury actually like by the second, like right at the beginning or right at like halftime. So
Yeah.
and this is for the marbles. He's gonna go for it. Like he had a giant ice pack on him, but I think he's gonna go for it. And I do like that 13 and a half attempts
Yep.
prop line. So I do like it too. I think that and the AJ Brown, I think those are your two parlays, Vince. I think he already left.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll connect with Vince later on this. But, all right, to review, right, Ian's got the Chiefs and Eagles. Jen has the 49ers and the Bengals. And I'm not going to be the same as anybody. I'm taking the Birds, obviously. And I'm liking the Bengals. I think that game's going to be close. I think both games are going to be close. I think you have two great games this weekend. Sunday's going to be an absolute treat to watch football. Just if anybody cares, I will be at the bar at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I will be primed for the game. Let me tell you that. Anyway, our favorite prop.
One last thing, though. One last thing that you didn't say, and I'm really shocked you haven't said. Jalen Hurts has only lost one game this year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a big thing, man. That's a big thing going into the playoff game, especially being at home. And I'm sure mom's coming over to make him a nice dinner the night before.
Oh, you know it.
That's home cooking is important when you've only got one loss.
Oh my God.
Mama Hurts is going to be in Philly. She's going to be cooking, just like my Birds will be cooking on Sunday.
Yeah, she's going to be serving
Have
up
you
that
clogged up
camel.
our toilets too? Jesus. Hey, when did Hurts get hurt? When did he go down?
When he got hurt?
Yeah.
It was like week 14, week 15.
Yeah, because
14.
That's right. So I mean, honestly, if you look at the body of work of the Eagles, it's also not that impressive. I just think that there's not parity in the league right now, and so all the other teams aren't that great. You guys didn't really have a ton of dominating. I mean, I feel like the Eagles are surprisingly awesome, right? But if you look at their matchups, it's like you win by a touchdown, barely. You win by 6. You barely beat the Packers. You let them score like 34 on you. I don't know what happened there. So I feel confident that my Niners will at least cover the spread.
All right, Jen, I'm gonna pop a huge bubble in your little statement there. All right, the Packers have the biggest, or the 49ers have the biggest win spreads, right? You beat the Packers by 7, so congrats. You beat the Vikings by 10. We blew out the Vikings week 1, 38-7. It was a schmurda. You lost to the Houston Texans. You got put up a goose egg against the Houston Texans. You lost to the.
You beat the Vikings by 2 touchdowns. No, week 2, 24-7. 2 touchdowns, right?
Listen, I'll go back to the Birds schedule in a minute. Let me talk about your 49ers that are apparently so good. You lost to the Bears.
You beat Arizona by like a field goal. It was actually kind of sad.
You lost to the Bears. You beat the Seahawks. You lost to the Broncos when Russ was in a slump. You beat the Rams without a quarterback or a wide receiver, so congrats. You beat the Panthers. You lost to the Falcons. You lost to the Chiefs. You beat the Rams again. You beat the Chargers. You beat the Cardinals. You beat the Saints. You beat the Dolphins. You beat the Bucs. You beat the Seahawks. You beat the Commanders. You beat the Raiders, and you beat the Cardinals again. Now, for the Birds. Let's see here. Sorry, the 38 points was against the Lions. We beat the Lions, the highest scoring offense in the league. Beat them. Vikings, we won by 17 points. Beat the Commanders, beat the Jags. We also beat the Cardinals. We beat the Cowboys twice. Or no, once because we had a backup quarterback. Beat the Steelers. We beat the Texans. So we beat the Packers by the same thing you guys did, 7 points. We beat the Bears. You guys lost to the Bears. You beat the Saints. We lost to the Saints, so I guess I'll give you that. But anyway, I digress.
No, I mean the point is the point is that all the teams that we played and you guys played are terrible. Like, so you know what I mean? It's
like half the league.
Suck. I know, that's what I'm saying. The league has no parity. Like, all the talent is like with the top few. So,
Yeah, that's valid.
And when we lost, it wasn't without Brock. I mean, that kid's got a ton of confidence, and everyone's like rallying around him. So
He does.
I think it's gonna be a super fun game. And the great thing about being a rookie and not knowing anything, like walking up to the craps table and being totally new, is you have no fear. You have no idea that the seventh.
Listen, the rookies who walk up to the craps table are also the ones who buy in when the puck's on. They put their hands over the tables.
Yeah.
They roll for like 60 plus.
I cracked myself up. All
I have
right,
a question, Dom.
go ahead.
Jen said if she wins, you have to wear a dress, short dress. What else did you say, Jen? Was there makeup involved? I can't remember everything.
I want the lipstick. I want the hair.
Listen.
He probably had the
Listen.
disco ball.
I'll have girlfriend D-Jen come over and make me look all pretty. All right, she's a makeup rep, so she'll do my makeup, right? Maybe I'll curl the hair. There's not that much to curl. I'll put the sequence dress on, and I will sing I Will Survive, or whatever you want me to sing. I'll sing it loud and proud in a nice cocktail dress, all right? But, Jen, if my birds win, you need to get like a double XL Eagle shirt and sing the Eagles fight song.
Oh, no.
For me.
Do they even have a fight song?
That's gonna hurt so bad.
Oh, the fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. Well, I'll send you the whole song if you want it.
I know it. I've heard it. It's terrible.
It might get your most views ever.
That's so funny.
Oh, and I will play that in a video. I'll start out my video with that. John will probably start Coffee and Craps with that. But that's what I want. The Eagles fight song in an Eagles shirt.
Victor's like, no bet. That's so funny. Wait, if Ian was going to pick the Eagles, I was also going to go in on a wager with him. But since he's not sure. You're taking the Niners for the spread, right?
No, I wouldn't take that bet, actually. If I was in Vegas, I wouldn't take it.
Because Ian's a smart bettor.
It's close, Jen. I mean, I think it's a pick'em game. I don't even see why there's 2.5. I mean, I think it's pretty much a pick.
See, I think it's real. I mean, because that both teams are so talented on both sides of the fence, it can go either way.
It could. But listen, you're talking about Jalen Hurts being hurt. Did you see that 40-yard dime to Devontae Smith to open up the game?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Woo!
You knew that was coming. They were second guessing his throwing shoulder.
That ball was on a rope. Woo! It's like a laser guided missile in there. All right.
I want you to save that $500 bet on AJ. Don't send that out.
I placed it. You saw me place it live on camera.
I loved it.
$500. That's our consensus prop of the weekend, right? AJ Brown over 4.5 receptions. Book it.
I can't wait to get a phone call from you at the end of the first quarter. Say, no, he's got 5 catches in the first 15 minutes. Thank you. Cash it.
Oh yeah. Oh, listen. Do you want to know what I already have placed on the game?
Yeah.
I'd love to.
All right. So Eagles money line. There's already a rack on that. The ticket's upstairs. I could go get it. For any of you who don't know, a rack is $1,000. $1,000 Eagles money line. That is one of my bets. I just locked in $500 on the Eagles money line and the over 4.5 catches. I will probably put another $500 on the over 4.5 catches.
Can I just say there's a website called Gamblers Anonymous?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm the president of Gamblers Anonymous.
I hear you, man. Preach it.
Listen.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
The Eagles The Eagles. I'm telling you right now. Just mark my words. Brock Purdy is going to be shitting his pants.
Jen, every time they score, you need to text him. So bad that he's going to put you on D&D if they go up.
I'll be on a cruise ship. I'm gonna, yeah.
She won't even be watching the game.
No,
Carrie's
I'm gonna be
texting
there.
right now. She's out on her Carnival
Yeah,
cruise.
I might miss the damn cruise ship.
No, they got big TVs on cruise ships. You'll be fine. You'll be able to watch the game. No problem. So
Yeah.
It's going to be a sad day of the cruise, Jen. All I know is I hope you have the unlimited drink package so, you can drown your sorrows. Unfortunately, I don't need an unlimited drink package because I will be at Chicky and Pete's. If anybody is in the Philly area and you want to come hang out with me, I will be at Chicky and Pete's on Sunday to watch the game. I may go live from Chicky and Pete's. I'm talking to the owner now. We'll see what happens.
That's just you won't feel the pain. You won't feel the pain if the Eagles lose. Then it's good. It's good. It's smart.
I'll be even more sad. What do you mean? Alcohol's a depressant.
You won't feel anything.
Did you take bio?
he's an attorney. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you not to drink and drive.
It's fine. I gotta. All right, listen. All right, here's how D-Gens roll. Okay, me, girlfriend D-Gen, her family, my family, a bunch of friends. We have a limo down to the city already because we know we're not driving. We are smart.
Great move.
So, just saying. Don't drink and drive. Anybody out there, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
I can't wait to see the text messages between the two of you, no matter which way this goes.
I'll make sure we put them in the group chat.
This is going to
like
be fun.
a chirp, yeah, like Tweety birds. But Chris, do you actually like the Eagles money line more than you like the Bengals money line? I feel like that's more to me a slam dunk because you have a lot of unknowns in KC to the detriment of the game as opposed to the Niners being.
That's true. I mean, listen, Patty Mahomes is Patty Mahomes, right? He's pulled out so many magicianal moves so many times that I like the Bengals. I don't love betting against Patty Mahomes. I'd be betting more against the defense for the Chiefs and betting against Andy Reid than anything. I will be betting on the Bengals money line, just so everybody out there knows. But the Eagles, I mean, come on. Listen, the 0-5 is going to be 0-6. I'm telling you right now, Brock Purdy has never played in a game that of this magnitude with those fans. He's going to hit the ground. He might go out with a sprained shoulder.
Yeah, that's a rough environment.
Well, yeah. Hey, luckily he doesn't have to be in the stands, but I think he'll do fine. He's actually quite calm for a rookie. I feel like he's got a little bit of presence. Like, he didn't take that delay of game, which I thought he was going to take, and blow our chance to kick a touchdown. I feel like the Niners need to come out with a lot more urgency than they did last time against the Dallas Cowboys. They felt like they kind of were in control. They wanted to set a tempo, but I think the Eagles are going to come out quick and fast, and I think the Niners need to strike right away, get Kittle, Ayuk, Debo down there. I don't know that you guys, your cornerbacks can actually bring Debo down. That guy's.
We got two of the best corners in the league.
They do.
But you'll be so
Darius Slay averages, I think, one catch for under 10 yards a game.
But who will you cover? You have
all of them.
So many choices.
Slay, Bradbury, Epps. We're good.
All right. It's good. It's
and
good.
then
I can't
just
wait
wait
to see
for
his
Hassan
dressing.
Reddick.
So
Hassan Reddick will be taking McCaffrey down in the backfield nonstop. So will Fletcher Cox. Mark my words, Fletcher Cox has a massive game. He's been MIA the past couple of weeks, but Fletcher Cox this week, take it to the book. Fletcher Cox is coming out, and he's going to take, excuse my French for all of you at home, he's going to take Big Cock Brock, and it's going to turn into the Fletcher Cox show.
Okay.
You're class.
I was gonna say Fletcher who, but okay.
Yeah.
Where's he been? Who is this guy?
Oh, don't you
John.
worry. He's only like a 7-time Pro Bowler.
I know, but he has literally been silent. So maybe
He's
he
just
didn't need
waiting.
to. But
He's just waiting
the
on his
was-
time. Because you know what he does when he gets his sacks? You know what he does, right? He crawls, does his army crawl, and that's going to be happening a lot. You're going to see Fletcher Cox all across Lincoln Financial Field crawling.
Now you're reaching.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
Look at the Seahawks. When the Seahawks fan comes to Niners fans' defense, that's
Yeah.
how
All right,
close this game.
listen. Real quick. Since John is back, all right? John wasn't here for a little bit. He had to go work. I understand that, right? John's not back, so I'm going to recap for him real quick. And for anybody who has just joined us, there is a wager on this game, all right? Not monetary. There's a lot of monetary wagers on this game. As you guys already know, I have 2,000 pending on this game alone already. But don't worry about that. There's a wager between Jen and I, all right? John and anybody who's back. If the 49ers, by chance, win this game, you will see D-Gen in a cocktail dress, legs shaved and all, makeup done, singing I Will Survive. That's what I'll be singing. Karaoke style. If and when the Eagles win, Jen will be wearing an Eagles jersey, singing the Eagles fight song. Who doesn't want to see that? Nobody wants to see me in a cocktail dress. All of America's rooting for Jen in an Eagles jersey.
Actually, Waylon's going to start calling you Chris, my love.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's fine.
Jen, are you sure you don't want him singing "It's Raining Men" over "I Will Survive"?
I thought about that, but really the girl anthem is definitely I Will.
Listen, I'll make it even better for you, Jen. You know how confident I am? I'll sing both of them.
Oh,
God, this is going to be so good. Look it up.
I'll sing both of them for you. That's how confident I am.
Oh, my God. I am going to pray, dear God, just give me this one. Just this one. I want this more than the Super Bowl.
And to answer John's question, yes, John, only an Eagles jersey. It's a double XL Eagles jersey only, singing the Eagles fight song.
Oh, shit. I see.
Why did I pick a double XL, Jen? I mean, I know you're not a double XL. Jen's like an extra small on a bad day.
It just dawned on me when you're talking about, oh, shit. Okay. All right. I'm still feeling confident I'm not going to have to perform. But I'm going to go jogging more just in case.
Jen, all I would say is get those pipes ready. Get the sheet music out for Fly, Eagles, Fly. John had it on his show the other day. Go rewatch it. You can learn the fight song.
I had to mute the show, yeah.
Anyway, all right. I think that brings us to a wrap. Any final words, Miss Lovely Jen?
Go Niners.
Go Niners. All right, I guess. Ian, any final words?
yeah. I said I'm betting on Kansas City, but I'd really like to see Joe Burrows and those boys go against the Eagles in the championship. But I still think Patty's got something hidden up his sleeve that Andy Reid's not ready for. But yeah, it's a great weekend football. A lot more exciting than it was last weekend. I think it's nice. It's gonna be 2 games. I got a bunch of people coming over to my house to make breakfast for everybody, even though it starts at noon around here. And the drinks will be flowing with you, my friend. Good luck. Jen, good luck. I wish you guys both. Please have your phones on because I'm going to be dialing because I got no stake in the game for either one of you.
Don't worry. I'll have a portable charger with me. Listen, the Eagles, book it. A.J. Brown over 4.5 receptions, book it. Waylon said I have nothing to worry about. I know. That's why I'm willing to make these ridiculous wagers. Listen, guys. If you are in the Philly area on Sunday and you want to hang out with an absolute full degenerate D-Gen, Chicky and Pete's on Sunday. All right, Chicky and Pete's on Sunday. I will be there. with a whole bunch of friends and family. Come see me. Come say what's up. Eagles, Bengals. Let's get ready to watch an excellent week of football. Ian, Jen, love you both. Thank you for coming on. Everyone in chat, love you all. Guys, we will see you next time.
Next time.